Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and if you know anything like me, you know I would rather do anything else but drive. While I love the independence that comes with driving, it is like a total time suck. Getting from one destination to the other and having to focus on driving, like I always want to fill my time and be as productive as possible. So this is why I rely heavily on audiobooks and podcasts. So I feel like it's not a waste of my time to drive. And I don't drive like that long of distances really in my life. It's not like I have to drive or commute hours or anything day to day. But whenever I'm going somewhere, I love to have my maps on. I don't know why. Whenever I use Apple Play, I like to see what I'm listening to and where I'm driving, especially the roads. So I can gain a little bit more of a geographical memory, we're going on this road or that road. So I try really hard to have maps on. But when I'm going somewhere new that I've never gone before, I'm relying heavy on my maps. I like to know exactly how long it's gonna get me there, the exit, the time, all of the things. I love using maps, but sometimes it can be a little confusing. They'll be turn left in 0.3 miles, but what is 3.3 miles? It truly. And if there's a bunch of traffic, like 4-lane highway or something, I will sometimes miss an exit. I've done it before. I'm sure you have too. Often, when I'm going to my mom's in Iowa, that's when I'm driving the most and the longest distance is to my travels in Iowa. And I might miss an exit for Starbucks or to grab something to eat or fuel or whatever. Some of the stops I know by heart, but if I'm in an area or it's redirected me due to construction or something, it can take you a route you've never gone before. And there has been times where I've missed my exit and I have become completely frustrated because usually I'm running a little bit behind. I always cut it close to the time that I'm supposed to be leaving. I'm always trying to do too much. I'll be trying to organize something, start the laundry, or any of these last minute to do things that I just have the urge to do and make sure that's done. I'm always thinking about my future self and what kind of home she's going to come home to, or what will help her on her to-do list. And it often leads to me running a little bit behind. So I don't have any time to lose. And if I miss an exit, it could put me back for an appointment time. I like to be respectful of other people's time. I hate being late, even though usually I do run late. It's such a frustrating back and forth kind of thing. But often, when I miss that exit, I am just disappointed. And I'm this is really gonna set me back. I'm annoyed. And that honestly is the worst feeling. When you feel you should have gone a certain way, or you feel you should have gotten on that exit, but you missed it. For one reason or another, you didn't make it. And this can be applicable to life. When you feel you are on the fast track and you feel this pressure to complete something or get it done or turn it on time or make a deadline that you haven't made before, it can feel like the end of the world when you miss the mark or you don't accomplish it as soon as you thought you should. And what I've learned is even if my maps redirects me, if it, readjusts and it's all right, recalculating, and it gets me to where I need to go. I might have, taken a different path. It might have taken me a little bit longer, but I made it to my destination. And I truly believe that whenever you are being redirected in life, whenever things are not going the way that you wanted them to go, and you find yourself on a different path that you did not plan to do when you left that morning, but it's gonna be okay. Because redirection can be protection. I could have been redirected from traffic or from an accident or construction, which ultimately would have delayed me even more from my end path, from my end journey, because I would have had to wait in that traffic or wait for the accident to be cleaned up or be waiting in the construction zone. All of the redirection, whether it was purposeful, like the maps redirected me and took me somewhere I hadn't been before, or because I couldn't get over and merge into the lane that was turning for that exit. Redirection is protection from those things that you may or may not have been able to see. And I truly do not believe that you can miss anything that is meant for you or for your journey. Because just like your maps will recalculate, the world, the universe, God is going to recalculate. He might be shaking his head at you and think, oh my gosh, like you missed your exit, but he'll find another exit. He will find a way to show you what you're missing, because the universe will readjust. And that's the most amazing thing about when you're on this path and you're wanting to do something and you're like, oh, I've got to get there, I've got to get there, I've got to get there. You can become so like laser focused, which is great, but you might have your blinders on to problems that might be coming. You might not see the construction zone sign. You might not see that person who is trying to wreck your plans or tear you down or cause roadblocks to come up in your life. You might not see them because you're so laser focused on your goal. Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. But the world sees it, and for your path, you might need to cut them out to be able to move forward in your journey. And I've felt like so discouraged on how I thought things were gonna be, how I thought I was gonna progress, and my goals and the outcomes that I have experienced might be slightly off or have totally missed the mark from what I thought they were gonna be. But it ended up, even if I did take the long way there, I've came to the same conclusion that it would have taken if I would have got straight there, right? Like if I would have just been able to achieve my goal when I set out to achieve my goal, I realized that I would have missed so much of the journey. I would have missed pit stop number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 to make it to my final destination. I would have missed those connections. I would have missed those relationships. I would have missed the experience that maybe was actually needed for me to continue on my journey, was actually needed for me to continue on and be successful or reach someone who might have needed me to, roadblock in their life or to cause them to change direction. Because although we love to think about our life as we are the main character, sometimes we are put in other people's lives for their roadblocks or to show them a new way or to, guide them or in a way that they wouldn't have seen if you would have just taken your own path or blazed through and sat through that construction. I don't know about you, but I hate wasting time. It's annoying, it's frustrating. I'd rather just move on and get what needs to be done accomplished so then I can enjoy the rest of my day. So I don't want to sit in the construction. I'd rather reroute. I'd rather take a different path because that could be the path that is needed to pick up some tools on the way. And as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about Dora the Explorer. Dora had to pick up tools along her way, or even Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I have younger siblings, and so I watched some of these shows when they were growing up. You know, they'd be in the background as you're like playing with your little sister, playing with your little brother. And I just remember like Mickey Mouse saying, "That's a Mousquetool. We'll need that for later," you know, like foreshadowing that we would need that to trade with the troll under the bridge, or tape for the rope swing that broke, like any of those things. You don't know what could be a Mousquetool. And honestly, like child TV shows or whatever, they always have like a moral, and they always have like a some substance to the episode, right? And so like it can be as simple as you didn't know that you were gonna need that tool. You didn't know that you were gonna need the experience to move forward on your journey. So don't get frustrated. Oh my gosh, like I missed my exit, or the exit that you thought was meant for you, the dream that you thought was meant for you, and it actually was not meant for you. You cannot miss anything that is meant for you. So instead of thinking, oh, like I missed that opportunity, or the love of my life and I broke up, like that obviously wasn't meant for you. That person wasn't meant for you. That job wasn't meant for you. That journey was not meant for you. What is meant for you is out there, and you just have the guts to continue on the path and not get stuck in construction, or not get like doing a U-turn to go back and experience other things, because you cannot re-experience the past. You're not going to be able to redo what has already happened. So you have to move forward, and you have to pick up the tools that you're going to need, and you're going to have to be redirected. Is it always great? No. I can fight redirection all the time. I'll think, oh, like if only this had gone perfectly, right? Like I'll think about the steps that I had missed, or what I could have done to better prepare, or, better execute. There's been a lot of like leadership positions that I tried for when I was in high school and college. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like what could I have done differently? Did I need to talk to more people? Was my, if it was like a project or something, like did I need to put extra hours in my project? And there's no way for me to go back and redo that contest, or redo that application, or any of the things I've ever tried for and I got told no for, or someone else was picked. I can't go back and redo that experience, but what I can do is I can take the tools that I've learned, and I can help that for my next opportunity, and I can help that for the exit that was meant for me, or the position or the journey that was meant for me. Because we can have this idea of what we want and who we want to be, but if it's not meant for you, you're never gonna have it. So I know that personally for myself, like I have a little bit of like the need for control. I think to an aspect, all of us do. We want to feel comfortable. We want to know what to expect. We want to know how to prepare. And when you're starting to feel a little bit out of control on the outcomes that might be, coming up that you don't necessarily like, the lack of control can be really scary. And you can think, oh my gosh, like I should have prepared better. I should have done this. I should have changed this. I'm not going to try if I can't control the outcome. And you can only control how you react to what happens to you. So if you're going to choose to be positive about it, if you're going to choose to see the light, the silver lining in the clouds, whatever you want to call it, on, oh my gosh, like I missed that exit, I'm so frustrated, I might be a couple minutes late. Or you can think, what was that protecting me from? What was that, maybe guiding me to something different? Maybe you take a different route that you've never taken before, and you got to see a restaurant that just opened up, and now you want to go for a date night. So if you can give it a little spin, if you can see the positive sides to it, if you can see how it's going to help you instead of how you've missed out or had loss, that little micro change on your aspect of what is happening that is going to be a game changer for you. And you're going to see more of the positivity in your life, because whatever you focus on will grow. So if you focus on the positive, if you focus on what is this giving to me, what mouse tool can I put in my backpack for later? I know that I was combining the two of them, but if you can look on the positive side and how it's actually helping you, you're gonna be better prepared when that opportunity does come to you. Because luck is not luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity, okay? Luck is not just something that happens. It's when you put in the work and you put in the effort and you put in the hours. So when opportunity does come, then you are totally ready. So thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, send to a friend, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.